Kiki never stopped staring at herself in the mirror. She thought she wasn't beautiful enough. Not for the world she lived in, not for the kind of love she wanted. It had been 5 years and not a single man had asked her out. Every morning she'd whisper, "If only I were richer, if only I looked better." But beauty cost money, and money was something she didn't have. The small room she shared with her sister felt tighter every day, like life itself was mocking her. She wanted more. To be beautiful, to be wealthy, to finally belong in a world that worshipped perfection. But everything comes with a price. And for Kiki, the price was simple. Forever she must stare at something before she eats. "Kiki, you're beautiful enough, ooh," her sister Linda would say. But Kiki had already made her choice, and the mirror had already made its claim. Kiki sat in front of the mirror again, staring at her face as if seeing a ghost. Her younger sister Linda watched, knowing something was terribly wrong. Kiki would not eat until she completed this ritual. Every single meal, every single day. Linda often thought about how it started, feeling the weight of the terrible secret. 3 months prior, Kiki was a different woman. She was 22, Linda's older sister, and worked at a small phone shop in their area of Lagos. Linda was 18. The two lived together in a one-room apartment near Ikeja, struggling just like everyone else in the city. Kiki was beautiful, smooth, dark skin, bright eyes, and a smile that made heads turn. But she did not see it. "Look at Grace," she would say every morning, scrolling through Instagram. "Look at her skin. Look at her body. Look at her life." Grace was an old classmate. Now she drove a big car, wore expensive clothes, had thousands of followers, and looked like a movie star. "You're beautiful too," Linda always insisted. Kiki would shake her head. "Beautiful doesn't pay rent, Linda. Beautiful doesn't put food on the table." She was tired of being broke and ordinary. Linda understood the pain. Their landlord was constantly demanding rent money, and their mother back in the village was sick and needed medicine. Kiki sent every spare coin home, leaving them with barely enough to eat. Then one Friday evening, everything changed. Kiki came home with a strange smile, her eyes shining like someone who had just found treasure. "Linda," she said, sitting on their old mattress, "I met someone today." "A man?" Linda asked. "No, a woman. Her name is Sister Vera." A cold feeling settled in Linda's stomach, though she didn't know why. "She came into the shop," Kiki continued. "Linda, this woman was so beautiful. Like not normal beautiful, like an angel. Her skin was glowing. Her hair was long and perfect. She wore real gold. And when she talked, even her voice sounded like honey." "Okay," Linda said slowly. She saw Kiki looking sad and asked what was wrong. Kiki told her about their problems, the money, the feeling of being ugly and ordinary, and Sister Vera said she used to be just like Kiki, poor, struggling, invisible. Then she joined a group of women who helped each other become better. Richer, more beautiful. She could help Kiki too. Linda's stomach twisted. "Kiki, that sounds like..." Kiki knew what Linda was thinking, but she insisted it wasn't a scam. Sister Vera had shown her pictures of other girls, before and after. The transformation was crazy. These girls went from looking ordinary to looking like models, and they were all rich now, driving cars, living in nice houses. "How?" Linda asked. "How do they do it?" Kiki's smile faded a little. She said it's a secret. Something special they do, but it works, and it's not evil or anything. Just special. "Kiki, please don't." "She already said yes," Kiki whispered. "She was meeting them tomorrow night." That night, Linda could not sleep. Something felt very wrong. But Kiki was her older sister, an adult. What could Linda truly say? The next evening, Kiki dressed in her best clothes and left. She returned at midnight. She was different. Not in a big way yet, but her eyes looked distant, like she had seen something she could not unsee. "How was it?" Linda asked. "Fine," Kiki said quietly. "Just fine." She did not want to talk more and simply went to sleep. Over the next 2 weeks, Linda watched her sister change. First, Kiki's skin started glowing, truly glowing, as if she were shining from within. People at her shop noticed. Customers noticed. Everyone asked what cream she was using. "Just taking care of myself," Kiki would say, smiling that new strange smile. Then money started coming. She bought new clothes and nice shoes, She paid their rent in full. She sent money to their mother. She even bought Linda a new phone. Kiki, where is this money coming from? Linda asked. The group helps us, Kiki said. We help each other. That's what sisters do. But she would not say more. Then one morning, Linda woke up and saw Kiki sitting in front of their small mirror. Just sitting, staring at her face. Her plate of rice was beside her, getting cold. Kiki, eat, Linda said. I need to look first, Kiki whispered. Look at what? At her face. She needed to make sure. She trailed off. Make sure of what? Kiki blinked, as if waking from a dream. Then she picked up her food and ate quickly, not looking at Linda. From that day, it became a pattern. Before every meal, every single time, Kiki would sit in front of the mirror, stare at her face for exactly 5 minutes, and only then would she eat. If there was no mirror nearby, she would use her phone camera. If her phone was dead, she would wait until she found a mirror, even if the food grew cold. Kiki, why do you do this? Linda asked one day. Kiki's hands started shaking. I just need to, she said. Please don't ask me again. But Linda kept watching, and she kept seeing more strange things. Kiki started going out more at night. She would come back looking tired but richer. New jewelry, new bags, new everything. Her beauty kept growing too. It was unnatural now. Her skin was too perfect. Her eyes were too bright. Her hair was too shiny. Men started following her everywhere. Rich men. They would offer her money, cars, anything. But she always said no. She did not need men, she told Linda. She had her sisters now. The women in Kiki's group, her sisters, all looked the same. Too beautiful, too perfect. Like dolls that came from the same factory. And they all had that same distant look in their eyes. One evening, Linda followed her sister. She knew it was wrong, but she was scared. Something was happening to Kiki, and she needed to know what. Kiki went to a big house in Victoria Island, a place where only rich people lived. The gate was tall and had strange symbols painted on it in gold. Linda hid behind a car and watched as Kiki knocked. Sister Vera opened the door, the beautiful woman who started everything. Come in, my dear Kiki, she said in that honey voice. We've been waiting. Through the window, Linda could see about 20 other girls inside, all beautiful, all dressed in white. They formed a circle in the middle of the room. In the center was a large old mirror with a gold frame covered in strange carvings. Sister Vera stood in front of the mirror and raised her hands. Sisters, she said, we gather again to renew our bond, to maintain our beauty, to keep our wealth. We remember the price we paid. We remember the promise we made. All the girls, including Kiki, responded together. We remember. We accept. We continue. Linda's blood went cold. Sister Vera continued. Look into the mirror. See yourselves as you truly are. See what we have become. And remember, if you ever forget to look, if you ever eat without seeing your face first, the beauty will leave. The money will go. And worse, she paused. And worse, the thing that gave you everything will take something back. Something you cannot replace. All the girls stepped forward and looked into the big mirror together. And that's when Linda saw it. In the reflection, they did not look beautiful anymore. They looked wrong. Their faces in the mirror were old, wrinkled, ugly, like witches from scary stories. But when Linda looked at them directly without the mirror, they still looked perfect and beautiful. Linda gasped and one of the girls heard her. Someone's outside, she screamed. Linda ran. She ran as fast as she could, her heart pounding. She got home and locked the door, shaking all over. When Kiki came back 2 hours later, she found Linda crying. Linda, what's wrong? Kiki asked, but her voice was cold now. Distant. I saw you, Linda whispered. I followed you. I saw everything. Kiki's face went white, then red, then something Linda had never seen before. Afraid. You shouldn't have done that, Kiki said quietly. You really shouldn't have. Kiki, what did you do? What did you join? Kiki sat down heavily on the mattress. For a long moment, she said nothing. Then she started talking. 3 months ago, she wanted to die, Linda. She was so tired of being poor and ugly and invisible. When Sister Vera offered her a way out, she took it. She didn't ask enough questions. She just wanted to change. What did they do to you? There's a mirror, Kiki said. An old, powerful mirror. Sister Vera said it came from their ancestors, from ancient times when people knew how to make deals with spirits. The mirror has something living inside it, something that can change how people see you, make you beautiful, bring you money and luck. But there's a price, Linda whispered. Kiki nodded, tears filling her perfect eyes. The price is remembering. Every time they eat, they must look in a mirror first. They must see their true face, the ugly old face that the spirit sees. They must remember what they really are underneath all this beauty. If they forget, even once, if they eat without looking first, what happens? The spirit takes something back. Their youth, their health, their mind. Some girls forgot and went crazy. Others got sick and died. One girl just disappeared completely, like she never existed. Linda felt sick. Kiki, you have to stop. You have to leave that group. Kiki laughed, but it was a sad, broken sound. You can't leave, Linda. Once you join, you're in forever. The only way out is death. And even then, she wasn't sure where their souls go after they die, because they sold part of themselves to that thing in the mirror. They both cried that night. Kiki, who wanted so badly to be beautiful and rich, had trapped herself in something terrible. But she can still live, Kiki said, wiping her tears. As long as she remembers to look in the mirror before eating, as long as she follows the rules, she can have this life, this beauty, this money. Is it worth it? Linda asked. Kiki looked at her with those two bright eyes. Ask her again in a few years and she'll tell you. What price would one pay for beauty? For wealth? For the life they've always wanted? Kiki made her choice, but her story isn't over yet. 2 months passed and things got worse. Kiki's beauty reached a point that didn't seem human anymore. Her skin glowed so bright that people squinted when they looked at her. Her eyes sparkled like diamonds. Her hair fell in perfect waves that never needed combing. Everywhere she went, crowds formed. Men begged for her number. Women asked for her secrets. Children stared with open mouths. Money poured in like rain. Rich men sent her gifts even though she never talked to them. Job offers came from companies she never applied to. Her bank account grew fat while she barely worked. But the mirror rule consumed her life. Every breakfast, every lunch, every dinner, every snack. 5 minutes of staring at her face before a single bite could touch her lips. Linda watched her sister become a prisoner to her own beauty. Kiki, this isn't living, Linda said one evening, as Kiki sat before the mirror with her food growing cold again. You're scared all the time. You can't even eat in peace. I'm fine, Kiki said, but her voice shook. You're not fine. You jump every time you see a mirror. You panic if your phone dies. Last week, you refused to eat for 6 hours because we were traveling and couldn't find a mirror. Kiki's hands trembled as she stared at her reflection. You don't understand, Linda. If I forget even once, everything ends. Worse than ends. The spirit takes back what it gave, and then it takes more. How much more? Kiki didn't answer. She just kept staring. Then one night, Linda heard screaming. She woke up to find Kiki thrashing in bed, crying in her sleep. No! Please, I looked! I looked! Kiki screamed. I didn't forget! Please don't take it! Linda shook her awake. Kiki! Wake up! Kiki's eyes flew open, wild and terrified. Sweat covered her glowing skin. It was just a dream, Linda said softly. No, Kiki whispered. It wasn't a dream. It was a warning. What do you mean? Kiki sat up, hugging her knees. The spirit in the mirror. It visits us in our sleep. It reminds us of our promise. It shows us what happens if we break the rules. What did it show you? Kiki's voice dropped to barely a whisper. It showed me forgetting to look before eating. Just once. One moment of forgetting. And then, my skin started rotting. My hair fell out in clumps. My teeth turned black and crumbled. My beauty didn't just leave. I became a monster. And then I died, screaming and alone. Linda felt sick. Kiki, we have to find a way to break this deal. There is no way, Kiki said. Sister Vera made that clear. The only girls who left the sisterhood left in coffins. There has to be something, some way to Stop, Linda, Kiki snapped. Just stop. I made my choice. I have to live with it. But Linda couldn't stop. Her sister was trapped, and she had to find a way to help. The next day, while Kiki was at work, Linda went searching. She asked around the neighborhood about Sister Vera. Most people had never heard of her. But one old woman selling vegetables at the market leaned close when Linda mentioned the name. You're asking about the mirror women, the old woman said, her voice low. The mirror women? That's what we call them. Beautiful girls who suddenly appear with wealth they didn't earn. We've seen them before, many times over the years. They always follow the same pattern: beauty, money, and strange behavior with mirrors. Do you know how to help someone who joined them? The old woman's face filled with sadness. Child, once the mirror spirit has you, it doesn't let go easily. But there is one person who might know something. An old man who lives near the lagoon. People say he knows about the old spirits. His name is Papa Ease. Linda wrote down the address and went there immediately. Papa Ease lived in a small house that smelled like herbs and smoke. He was ancient, with white hair and eyes that seemed to see through people. You're here about the mirror spirit, he said before Linda even spoke. How did you know? I can see it on you. The shadow of someone touched by that spirit. Your sister? Linda nodded, tears filling her eyes. Please, can you help her? She's trapped. She has to look in mirrors before eating, or something terrible happens. Papa Ease sighed deeply. The mirror spirit is very old, very powerful. It feeds on vanity and desperation. It gives beauty and wealth, but it takes something more valuable. Freedom, peace, the soul itself, little by little. Can the deal be broken? Yes, Papa Ease said, but the price for breaking it is high. Linda leaned forward. What price? I'll pay anything. It's not money the spirit wants, Papa Ease said. To break the deal, your sister must do three things. First, she must destroy the source, the big mirror in Sister Vera's house. Second, she must go 7 days without looking at her reflection anywhere. Not in mirrors, not in water, not in glass, not in anything. Third, she must give up something she loves more than beauty. What does that mean? The spirit will decide, Papa Ease said. It will take what it thinks is fair payment for breaking the bond. Linda's heart sank. And if she fails any of these steps, then the punishment will be worse than anything the spirit has shown her in nightmares. Death would be a mercy compared to what happens to those who try to break free and fail. Linda went home with a heavy heart. That evening, she told Kiki everything Papa Ease had said. Kiki listened in silence, her perfect face showing no emotion. No, she finally said. What? I said no, Linda. I'm not doing it. The risk is too high. But you're already suffering. You can't live like this forever. I can, Kiki said firmly. As long as I follow the rules, I'm safe. I have beauty. I have money. I have everything I wanted. Why would I risk it all? Because you're not free, Linda shouted. You're a slave to that mirror. You can't even eat a meal without fear. Better to be a beautiful slave than an ugly free woman, Kiki said coldly. Linda stared at her sister, seeing how much the mirror had changed her. Not just her outside, but her inside too. The Kiki who used to laugh and dream and care about more than appearances was gone. But Linda wasn't ready to give up. Over the next week, she watched Kiki more carefully, and she noticed something new. Kiki's rituals were getting longer. 5 minutes became 7, then 10, then 15. And her face when she looked in the mirror, she wasn't just checking her reflection anymore. She was afraid, deeply, truly afraid. One night, Linda heard Kiki crying in the bathroom. She opened the door and found her sister on the floor, staring at the mirror with tears running down her face. Kiki? It's changing, Kiki whispered. What's changing? The rules. The spirit is asking for more. At first, it was 5 minutes before meals. Now it wants more time, more looking. And tonight it spoke to me. Linda's blood went cold. What did it say? It said the deal is evolving. Soon looking before meals won't be enough. Soon I'll have to look every hour, then every 30 minutes, then every minute, until I spend my entire life staring at mirrors, unable to do anything else. And if I refuse, she didn't finish. She didn't have to. The spirit is eating you alive, Linda said softly. It's taking more and more until there's nothing left of you. Kiki, please. We have to try to break free. Kiki looked at her sister with those two bright eyes filled with tears. I'm scared, she whispered. I know, but I'm here. We'll do it together. For a long moment, Kiki said nothing. Then slowly, she nodded. Okay, she whispered. Okay, tell me what we have to do. The plan was dangerous. First, they needed to destroy the mirror in Sister Vera's house. But that house was always guarded. The mirror women gathered there often, and Sister Vera herself was powerful. Linda spent days watching the house, learning the patterns. She discovered that every Thursday night, the house was empty for exactly 2 hours. That's when Sister Vera and her girls went to perform some ritual at another location. Thursday came. Kiki was shaking as they approached the house. Her beauty seemed to glow even brighter in the darkness, like a lamp that couldn't be turned off. Are you sure about this? Kiki asked. No, Linda admitted, but we're doing it anyway. They climbed the fence while the house was empty. The gate's strange symbols seemed to watch them as they passed. Inside, the house was dark and cold, much colder than it should be. They found the room with the mirror easily. It stood in the center, huge and ancient, its gold frame covered in those strange carvings. As soon as Kiki saw it, she froze. I can't, she gasped. Linda, I can't do this. Yes, you can. You don't understand. That mirror, I can feel it. It's alive. It's watching us right now. It knows what we're planning. Linda looked at the mirror. In its reflection, she saw something move. Something that wasn't her or Kiki. Something dark and ancient, with eyes that glowed like burning coals. Fear shot through her, but she pushed it down. We're destroying it, Linda said. Now! She picked up a chair and swung it at the mirror with all her strength. The chair bounced off like the mirror was made of steel. Not even a crack appeared. It's protected, Kiki whispered. Linda tried again, and again. Nothing worked. Then Kiki stepped forward. Let me try, she said quietly. She placed her hand on the mirror's surface, just like she did the first time she made the deal. The mirror seemed to ripple under her touch like water. I know you can hear me, Kiki said to the mirror. I know you're in there. I want to break our deal. The temperature in the room dropped even lower. Linda's breath came out in white clouds. A voice came from everywhere and nowhere. You cannot break what is bound by blood and vanity. You are mine, Kiki, forever mine. No, Kiki said, her voice stronger now. You gave me beauty I didn't need, wealth I didn't earn, but you took my peace, my freedom, my sister's happiness. I want it back. Then pay the price, the voice hissed. Destroy me if you can. But know this, if you fail, if you break even one rule in your attempt, I will take everything. Your beauty, your youth, your health, your mind, and your sister's life as payment for her interference. Linda gasped. Kiki, no! But Kiki wasn't listening. She closed her eyes and pushed against the mirror with both hands. I give back everything you gave me, Kiki shouted. Take your beauty. Take your money. Take it all. Just let me go. The mirror exploded, not with glass and noise, but with light and screaming. A bright, terrible light that filled the entire room, and a scream that sounded like 1,000 voices crying out at once. Linda shielded her eyes. When the light faded, the mirror was gone. Only the empty gold frame remained, and Kiki stood in the center of the room, changed. Her skin no longer glowed. Her eyes were no longer too bright. Her hair was just normal hair. She looked like regular Kiki again, the Kiki from before Sister Vera, the Kiki who was just a girl trying to survive. Is it over? Kiki whispered. Linda ran to her and hugged her tight. I think so. I think it's really over. But they had to be sure. For the next 7 days, Kiki avoided every reflection. She covered all the mirrors in their apartment. She didn't look at windows or water or her phone screen. She walked with her eyes down, terrified of accidentally seeing her face. It was the hardest week of her life. The urge to look was overwhelming. Her hands shook. Her mind screamed at her to just peek, just once, just to make sure she was still okay. But Linda stayed by her side every moment, reminding her why they were doing this. On the 7th day, at exactly midnight, something happened. Kiki felt a weight lift from her chest. A pressure she hadn't even realized was there suddenly disappeared. She gasped, touching her heart. "It's gone," she whispered. "Linda, it's really gone. I can feel it. The spirit. It's not inside me anymore." Linda cried with relief, but the story wasn't over yet. The next morning there was a knock on their door. It was Sister Vera, but she didn't look beautiful anymore. She looked old, ancient. Her skin was wrinkled like paper. Her hair was thin and white. Her eyes were hollow. "You broke the mirror," she said, her voice weak and broken. "You freed yourself. Do you know what you've done?" "I saved my sister," Linda said firmly. "You condemned the rest of us," Sister Vera whispered. "That mirror was the source of all our power. Without it, we're all returning to what we really are. Old, used up. The spirit fed on us for years, and now that the mirror's gone, we're paying the full price all at once." Kiki stepped forward. "You should have warned us. You should have told us the truth about what we were joining." "Would you have listened?" Sister Vera asked. "You were desperate. You wanted beauty more than anything. We all did. That's why the spirit chooses us. Not because we're evil, but because we're desperate enough to make terrible choices." She turned to leave, moving slowly like every step hurt. "Wait," Kiki called out. "What will happen to you now?" Sister Vera looked back with her hollow eyes. "We'll age. We'll sicken. We'll die, probably within months. The spirit took years of our lives and gave us back nothing. But at least you're free, Kiki. At least you got out before it took everything." She left, and they never saw her again. Weeks passed. Kiki went back to her normal life. She worked at the phone shop. She lived in the one-room apartment with Linda. Money was tight again. The landlord knocked again. But Kiki was different now. She smiled more. Real smiles, not that strange, distant smile from before. She ate her meals in peace, without fear, without checking mirrors. She looked at her reflection sometimes just to see herself, and she didn't feel the need to be perfect anymore. One evening, Linda found her sitting outside their building, watching the sunset. "Do you regret it?" Linda asked. "Breaking free? Going back to being ordinary?" Kiki thought for a long moment. "Sometimes I miss the beauty," she admitted. "Sometimes I miss the money. Sometimes I see girls like Grace online and wonder what my life would be like if I'd kept the deal. But," Kiki smiled, "but then I eat a meal without fear. I look in a mirror without terror. I sleep without nightmares. And I realize that being ordinary and free is worth more than being beautiful and trapped." She took Linda's hand. "Thank you," she said. "Thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you for saving me when I was too scared to save myself." "That's what sisters do," Linda said softly. They sat together as the sun set over Lagos. Two ordinary girls in a big city. Poor but free, struggling but together. And Kiki never looked in a mirror with fear again. Beauty came with chains. Freedom came with scars. But in the end, Kiki learned the most important truth. The only beauty that matters is the freedom to be yourself, flaws and all. Sometimes the best thing we can do is choose to be ordinary, choose to struggle, choose to be real, because a life lived in fear of losing perfection is no life at all. What would you choose, beauty with chains or freedom with flaws? The mirror is always watching, always waiting, always offering deals to desperate hearts. But now you know the price, and knowing might just save your life.